Mic check. Mic check. Hmm. 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 Miss it. One up. Hmm. 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 Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the P-Ave Perspective with Mr. O'Neill. This week's topic is the title is Unity in the Community. Unity in the Community. But more specifically, I want to talk about the truth and what's real and what people are not, really pushing or promoting these days. But welcome everybody to episode 74. And whether you're watching the live stream on YouTube or Facebook, or whether you're watching the replay that I post on YouTube, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And thank you for spending this time with me during your week. But again, I said the title of this episode is Unity in the Community. The truth that they don't teach us. It's time to get real. Like always, this is not really a feel good conversation, but it's real talk. It's real. We're going to get real like we always do. But the first thing I want to ask my listeners, my viewers, is when you hear unity in the community, what does that mean to you? When you hear unity in the community, what does that mean to you as an individual? Listen, everything that we know, we've been taught. And when it comes to unity, we've been sold a version of unity, or we sold ourselves a version of unity excuse me, that feels good, but it's not actually true. It's not actually true. Like unity, when we speak on unity, unity is often based on skin color, shared struggle. Nowadays, it's social media support and the things we support on social media. But just because we are the same, or just because we look the same, it doesn't mean that we're united. Just because we are the same color, it doesn't mean we are unified. And we know that right now. If anybody has been really living life, you know that right now. And just because we stay around each other, or we stay in the same areas, or we stay in the same neighborhoods, that don't make us a community. And we have to get past that. But people that live in the same neighborhood, that don't support each other, that compete with each other instead of collaborating with each other, that tear each other down every chance they get instead of lifting each other up. That is what our neighborhoods, the people we live around, and the people we associate with every day, that's what it boils down to. But if we were truly unified, if our community was truly unified, it would look way different than it look right now. And as always, these topics are special to me. They mean a lot to me because not only am I sharing my views and opinions, but I'm also debunking a lot of bull, or educating my people on some real stuff. And this is one of those things, because in dealing with people and dealing with my mission, my movement, and everything that I deal with, I have a lot of conversations with people, and a lot of these topics come out of those conversations because I see that people get the wrong idea, and I'm all for explaining what I stand on, what I stand for, as well as what I don't go for. And one of the things that has been brought up in a lot of conversations that I have with people is when I speak on my people, when I speak on my people, because I'm a black man, a lot of people assume that when I say my people, that I'm only speaking on black people. And let me say this, as a black man, I was raised in a time where my people were proud black people. They taught me to be a proud black man, to be proud of who I was, and to love myself for who I was. And being an original, not being like anyone else. And that pride and that self love made me a person to the point where I could never discriminate on another person based on what they look like, or nationality, or none of that. None of that. I was taught as a person who loved myself and loved who I was to extend love and respect to those who showed me love and respect. I was never taught to hate anybody. I was never taught to look down on anybody. So when I say black pride, or I'm proud to be black, or black love, or black power, that doesn't mean that I'm knocking anybody else, or I'm looking down on anybody else, or I believe that everybody else shouldn't want that for them and who they are. And I don't like to get into the race issue because that really runs me hot. It really runs me hot. Now, don't get me wrong. I know the history, and All of that's good. I will never forget the history. I will never forget, what was done to my people or none of that stuff that people are going to come at me about or people might want to remind me of. I will never forget any of that. But what I do know is real and fake is fake. And I'm going to always stand with the real. So that being said, nobody could ever put me in a situation, or I would never be allowed. I would never put myself in a situation as to where I look down on somebody or I dislike somebody for the color of their skin, or like it was said before, the content of their character. I judge people by who they are. And I've said it a couple of times on this platform, and I'll always say it. Like, I don't like all black people. I don't like all black people. So, on the same token, I don't like all white people. I don't like, but me not liking them has nothing to do with their color, race, none of that. It's based on them as people. And just like I said, I've met just as many black people that are rude, that, have hated, have disrespected, have tried to harm. Really way more than I've met white people like that. But I said all that to say this. When I speak on my community, when I speak on my people, it has nothing to do with race or, where you come from, any of that. My people are people that I've come in contact with who made an impression on my life. And anybody that know me knows I rock with anybody that rock with me. I rock with anybody that rock with me. I don't have to go into the fact that I have white friends who I call my brothers. Shout out, you know what I'm saying? My guy Ryan, Mr. RCX. The impression you made on me as a brother, you'll always be my brother, no matter what. RIP to my mother, Don Lee, because the impression and for the record, she is white as snow. But that is my mother. And I miss her and I love her to death. Not based on the fact that she gave me life, but based on the fact that she played a positive role in my life. She treated me as one of her own. And I'll never forget her for that. I always hold her in the highest regard for that. And those are my people, regardless of what. So when I speak on my movement, when I speak on what I want to accomplish, when I speak on my community, that's everybody that's in my life and that will come into my life. And let me say this for the hood. Come on, let's just keep it real on hood. Like, if you really from the hood, I was from South Dallas, Cooperville. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it might not have been many, but my hood, all kinds, Spanish or Mexican, let me say, Mexican, whites, that make up my community. That was a part, that was my neighborhood makeup. And just like I said, it was predominantly black, but it was never about race. Yes, the powers that be, this system that has oppressed us forever. We look at that and we say white, but if we're honest, we see more black people that are a part of that system of oppression now so than ever before. So even the system that oppresses us, can't be based on something racist. It's just not what happened. It's not what's happening. And like I said, I am who I am, and I'm gonna stand on that. But what I wanted to do today was just to go over what I really mean by community and the values of the people that make up my community and that I want to help me build my community. But like I said, we know that the powers that be, the system, has always used race as a system of division and keeping us all divided and feeling like we competing against each other and really misdirecting us and taking our eyes off of what we really supposed to be focused on. But you name it. Nowadays it's a big thing with men and women. It's a big, you know, division thing between men and women. You see all this social media propaganda with the men saying women are not this, and the women saying men are not this. All of that was designed to divide us, and division lead to conquering. Class separation. The broke people versus the middle class people versus the rich people. Like religion. I just like I said, we know I spoke about it before. It's a million churches in the hood. I don't believe in that because everybody have to pick which church to go to, and that's one big, thing to divide us. Religion, spirituality. Even down to some people claiming they street or they hood, and some people claiming they squares. It like the division tactics have went on forever, and those division tactics have kept us in last place. So whether intentional or not, the result is the same. If we are divided, we are ineffective. We can't accomplish nothing. We can't accomplish nothing. And so, first of all, I want to give my actual definition of community, and I want to give you some key points that I believe make up a real community. First of all, the definition of community is a group of people aligned in values, working together consistently to improve the quality of life for the whole. That's a community. It's not about so much the individuals, because yes, I'm strong as an individual, but with the community support, I'm unstoppable. But when I speak of rebuilding the community, I will say this: we can't have a community unless we establish our own economy. And by economy, I mean we have to provide our own services, we have to provide our own goods, we have to provide our own products, we have to provide our own jobs, and we have to provide the avenues for building wealth for us. And if we don't control that, we're not really a community. And an example of that would be look in any hood, look in any, like I spoke on not too long ago, look at any black community today. We do not own the stores. We do not own the real businesses. We do not own anything that creates value, that really creates value and ties us to the community. Our gas stations, our stores are owned by Indians, Africans. The businesses are owned by whites. They owned by everybody but us within our community. So we don't really have a community. We don't really have a community. Think about it. When you have businesses in your community that are run by people who live in your community, those people care about not only their stores and their profit, but they care about the communities that they live in, that they do business in. Most of these Iranians, most of these Africans, and nothing against them, but most of these people that own stores in the hood, they don't live in the hood. They don't live in the hood. So when they make their money, they don't spend their money in the hood. They take their money back to their community, in the communities that they live in, and they spend their money within their communities. They build their schools. They support their businesses. They, invest in their communities. So that is what I mean by community. Every community should have a code of conduct that stresses community support, supporting each other, the nonprofits in the community, the schools in the community, the businesses in the community. All of those should support the community. And it should be mandatory. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But a community has a code of conduct that we live by, the way we treat people. All of that counts. And real communities have elected officials that represent the community. And let's just be real. On a local level, it's out of control because these people, like I've said before, they work for the party. But if we look at these lobbying groups, look around you. Look at other races. Look at the LGBT. Look at white people. When white people in a particular community elect an official, that official works for them. When the LGBT puts their support behind an official, that official is working on their behalf to make things better for them or support their agenda and what they're trying to get done. So if you're not doing that, just because you have a bunch of black people, take like this city council, the Shreveport City Council. These people work for the parties. These council members, they work for the parties. They don't work for the community. And that's why people have gotten away from really voting a lot. But that's your power. That's your power. To vote these people, to look at these, like I said, look at the LGBT, look at white people. They have lobbyists. They have groups that sit down with these people before they support these people and say, okay, what are you going to do for us? This is what we need for you to do for our community. This is what we're trying to do in our community. We need somebody in position that's going to help us accomplish that. That's what it's about. And until we get that, we really don't have a community. And that's what I mean when I say building a community. A community is not based on race alone. It's not based on location and where you at. It's not based on your emotions, and because we feel the same and we feel like we have the same enemies. Community is built on alignment, being in alignment, working together. Community is built on action, unified action. Community is built on accountability, holding each other accountable, as well as holding others around us accountable for doing the right thing. So that old mindset of we all black, so we together, that's dead. That's dead, and you know that now. Anybody that's, like I said, that's living life, you know that now. Just because you the same color as me, don't even mean you have my best interests at heart. That don't mean if I turn my back on you, you won't stab me in my back. Let's keep it real. But the new mindset is, if we share values, so we build together. So I want to go over the 10 pillars, what I feel like the 10 pillars of a strong community. That's what I want to rock with today. But the goal of this, me going over this, is to not only teach, but to apply and to make it practical, because this should be everyday life. The people you associate with should be based on these 10 things that I'm about to go over. And if we don't meet in these 10 things, then we can't rock. You're not a part of my community. You're not a part of my family. And that's cool. That don't mean I dislike you. That don't mean I have anything against you. That don't mean that I don't want the best for you. It just means that we're not on the same page. So it ain't too much we can accomplish together. But the number one pillar is shared values. And what that means is we have to agree on discipline. We have to agree on respect. And we have to agree on growth and how we're going to grow. Because without shared values, it's chaos. Meaning, if you don't have self-respect and I do, or I don't have self-respect and you do, it's going to be problems. It's going to be problems. And I value respect. I value honesty. So if you a liar, we're going to have problems. We can't rock. And it's nothing against you. It's nothing against you being a liar. None of that. Everything that's cool. But I can't rock with you because it's going to be conflict. So shared values. Number 2, a clear purpose and vision. Think about, I talk about building all the time. I talk about economic stability in our communities, in our neighborhoods. If we not clear about that, and if you not with purpose, if you don't have purpose in your life and you don't have a vision of what you want for yourself or what you want for your family or what you want for the people that's close to you, if you don't have that already, I do. So it's like we can't rock because it's gonna be conflict. It's gonna be conflict. If your vision is I'm living my best life, and my vision is I want what's best for my people, I want what's best for those around me, we're gonna eventually clash. We can't rock together. And I know this. And again, it's nothing against you, but I know if you don't have purpose and vision and it's the same as mine or similar to mine, there's nothing we can do with each other. I don't really even waste my time talking to people who not on the same page with me because my time is too valuable to waste. Number three, collective responsibility. Teamwork, football, job, McDonald's, whatever you do, everyone contributes something. Everyone has to do their job in order for the unit to be successful. Collective responsibility. Everybody had to take their responsibility serious and perform whatever it is they need to perform to the best of their ability for everybody to win. And that's just basic. That's basic. But collective responsibility. If you don't feel like you have a role to play in bettering our community, if you don't feel like you have a role to play in helping these youth to better themselves, if you don't feel like as a man you have a role to play in guiding, protecting, educating our women, we don't have anything in common. Like we can't rock. And you can't be a part of my community. You're not a part of my community. It is what it is. But without collective responsibility, you got a bunch of freeloaders that's just riding the wave. You got a bunch of bandwagon riders that's just riding the wave and really draining, somebody else that's trying to do something with their life or draining the group in whatever we trying to do. And it don't work. It don't work. But number four, economic cooperation. Supporting local businesses before we support outsiders. I can't tell you how to spend your money, but if you don't realize how things work in your neighborhood, in your community, think about it. The taxes that are paid by businesses, people, and everything within your community, those are the money that's spent toward schools, toward roads, upkeep, and everything, upkeeping in your community. That's how the system works. So if you're not supporting local businesses and you're not doing what you need to do as a neighbor, as a person, in this neighborhood, as a person in this community, then you are not supporting the community. So I don't consider you a part of the community. If you don't get out and vote to try to put people in positions that can help the community, I don't consider you a part of my community. It's simple as that. Do I dislike you for it? Do I have something against you? No, never. But I would never consider you a part of my community because without economic cooperation, the money will keep leaving our community and going to support other communities. And I just can't deal with it. But number five, trust and reliability. Think about that again. Trust and reliability. If you say you'll show up, show up. Why lie? We grown. Grown people don't have to lie. The last time I felt like I had to lie, it was because I was scared my mom was gonna whoop me. Once I got to the point where I wasn't scared of her whooping me no more, it's not too much that I'm scared of. So as a man, I don't have to lie. I don't have to lie. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go above and beyond to do it. If you're not that type of person, if you don't stand on it, and everybody now talk about standing on business and this, that, but if you don't stand on it 100%, we can't rock. You're not a part of my community. You could never be a part of my community because that's basic. That's basic. That should be standard with being a human being. That should be standard, because without that, who are we? Who are we? Without that, it's no teamwork. How can we work together? How can we build? But number 6 is accountability systems. Accountability is big. Checking bad behavior, not ignoring, really pulling your coat, pulling your coat. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've gotten away from that as a people. Like I said, it used to be mandatory that, like we used to say back in the days on some player stuff, let me know my slip showing. You know what I'm saying? Like we say nowadays, let me know if my crown crooked. You know what I'm saying? Help me straighten my crown up. If you my homeboy and you care about me, let me know I got the boog in my nose. Don't let, you know what I'm saying, somebody else tell me I got the boog in my nose. Let me know if I'm doing wrong. Don't let me crash out. If you're willing to let me crash out, do you really care? Can I really call you my people? Can I really feel like you a part of my community? No. It's simple as that. But without accountability, dysfunction becomes normal. And that's what we're dealing with now. That's what we're dealing with in the neighborhoods. That's what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to change until we take accountability, until we really start practicing the values that make up a community. And that's why I'm going over this. Number 7, communication and transparency. Addressing issues directly and not gossiping. We become the gossip culture. We become the gossip generation. And think about it. Me being willing to go to people and talk to people about what's going on, or talking to people about what this person is telling me, I've actually been called messy. Just because, you know what I'm saying, a person tell me something about a person I rock with, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to tell that person what they said, and I'm going to go tell the person. And for that, I've been called messy. But then I'm not the guy that, you know what I'm saying, going to sit and listen to you talk about nobody else, because I wouldn't want nobody listening to you talk about me. That's just how that is. And I'm going to check it. And then I know how to get away from around it. But if we can't be honest and open with each other, if you can't tell me when I'm wrong, you can't tell me when you have a problem with me, or you can't tell me when I know you have a problem with something I did, how can I consider you a part of my family? How can I consider you a part of my community? It don't work like that. If you gossiping, you know what I'm saying, about what's going on with me to somebody that's outside of my circle, how can I consider you family? How can I consider you a part of my community? How can I even try to push to help you better yourself, if that's what you want? Again, I don't have nothing against you because you want to gossip. I don't address gossip anymore. People still do. I don't address it anymore because, again, like I said, my time is too valuable. I don't have time for it. But I'm going to stay away from it. I'm not going to intertwine with nothing you got going. I'm not concerned about you, with your well-being or nothing else, because you spending your time doing something that's not beneficial. So I got to let you have that. But without communication and transparency, division, it leads to more division. I'm a communicator. Talk to me. I'm empathetic. Even if I haven't been through what you've been through, I can listen. And if you explain it to me well enough, I can understand. And I can empathize with you. But if I don't know, I can't. If you can't talk to me, if you can't be transparent, I don't want to deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. That's just what it is. But number 8, things that make up a community, the pillars of community, skills and resource sharing. Sharing your skills and sharing your resources. Think about it. For as long as we can remember, neighbors have been okay with borrowing sugar or borrowing flour. Neighbors have been okay with, hey, I'm doing some yard work. Will you help me out? Hey, I got this going on. I got this project going on. I need a couple of neighbors to help me out, to help me get it done. That's what community is all about. That's one of the pillars of community. Teaching each other, teaching trades, business, financial literacy. being able to come together and start a bit. Think about it. Like if you're from Dallas, how many Spanish people you see that get with their people and pool their skills and pool their resources to start a handyman business, to start a construction company, to start a roofing business. That's what it's about. Skill and resource sharing. That's what builds not only families, neighborhoods, but communities. And we don't have that. So if you're not about sharing, if you feel like the game is to be sold and not to be told, then I salute you for that. But that's not what I'm on. So we can't rock together. We can't rock together because I'll give it to the person that wants it. I have no problem because I might need it one day. I have no problem loaning you some sugar today because I might need some flour tomorrow or I might need something else tomorrow. And I know it's not all about the money. It's all about growth and development. That's what the community is about. So skills and resource sharing. Again, without that, people stay stuck. And that's why we so stuck right now. That's the exact reason why we so stuck and we in last place right now. But you're welcome to it. But you're not welcome to my community with that mindset. Simply. Number 9, protection and advocacy. Standing up for each other legally, socially, and economically. Man, I am a rider. I'm a rider. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself one of the best leaders I know because I was a good follower first. I know what it means to ride. I know what it means to put my personal, views and opinions aside to ride for what's right or to stand for a person, who's being messed over. And I've had people stand for me. So it's about protection and advocacy, man. Standing up for each other. Standing up for each other. But we got to do it legally. We got to do it socially, and we got to do it economically. That's the only way we can consider ourselves a community. That's the only way we can consider ourselves a real family, even a real neighborhood. So again, if that's not what you own, if you selfish, if it's all about you, I'm cool with that. I have nothing against you, but I could never consider you family. I could never consider you a part of my community because that's not what it's all about. It's simply not. And without protection and advocacy, we are alone. As simple as that. We are alone. If we don't have nobody to protect us, if we don't have nobody to advocate for us, then we alone. And let's keep it real. Even though damaged people have gotten to the point where they comfortable being alone, that's not how the world was meant to be. That's not how people were meant to be. People were not meant to be divided or not meant to be separated, and people were not meant to be alone and not go at this life alone. That wasn't how it was meant to be. And as a part of my community, you don't have to worry about it because we don't rock like that. We do not rock like that. But number 10, a growth mindset and standards. Again, a growth mindset. Not a survival mindset, a growth mindset and standards. You have every man, every woman have to have standards. And the reason why we in last place like we are today, because people don't have standards. People will sell their soul for money. People will sell their soul for recognition. People will sell their soul on social media to go viral. And as a part of my community, we don't rock like that. We don't rock like that. That's why I haven't blown up this show with nothing crazy, because this show is not about me going viral. It's not about me making money. It's not about me being famous. It's about spitting the real. It's about building up my people. It's about uniting my people. It's about building my community. So I couldn't come on here with no mess or no gossip or allegedly or none of that. Because that's not how I rock, and that's not going to help my people. So that's why I stay away from that. But we have to evolve. We have to evolve. We have to get to the point where we focus on growth and development and not just making excuses. That don't work. Growth mindset and standard. We got to have standards. We got to set the standards for not only us and people who are looking at us. We have to set it for our kids to show them how to conduct themselves and teach them how to take what we're putting together now and what we building now and take it to the next level. And that's all about a growth mindset with standards that we live by. So again, if you want a survival mindset, that's cool. I have no problem with it. I'm gonna adapt you up and I'm gonna keep moving because I need people with the growth mindset. And like I said, even those who don't have it yet or might not necessarily have it yet, like I said, I offer online coaching courses. I offer online self-study courses to help you develop the growth mindset, to help you set standards in your life. So I'm not saying you can't get to this level or you can't come to the level. I'm doing everything in my power to help my people get to my level, the people that want to be on that level. I'm doing everything in my power to help people get to that level. But those that don't want to get there, I'm not upset with you. I don't have anything against you. I don't. But if you're not trying to get where we at and help us push through where we going, it's not benefiting me in no kind of way, shape, or form. So it's not benefiting the group as a whole. So I'm not wasting my time. I'm not. I'm simply growth mindset and standards. Without that, we stagnate. We don't make moves. We don't grow. We don't develop. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. But this is what I want to know from y'all. Out of these 10 pillars, which of these pillars do you see missing in our community right now? Which of these pillars do you see that's missing in our community right now? And I'm not going to lie. Like, I can't speak for everybody, but those people directly in my environment, we lack a lot of it. We lack a lot of these pillars. And that's why I constantly harp on it. That's why I'm going to speak on it. And that's why I'm constantly trying to build these pillars. That's why I'm constantly looking for people who want to develop these traits or have these traits and need other people around you to help you enhance them. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. And that's it. But we got to the point where, and it's been in the mix. It's been in the mix, but we prioritize image over structure or image over being real. We prioritize our emotions and how we feel over real discipline and really standing on something and standing on truth. We have prioritized talking about it and sharing it on Facebook and having all these conversations about it instead of doing something about it, instead of building. And I'm not on that. That's not what I'm on. That's not what I'm on. And I'll never be on it. But the hard truth is, we always say we want unity, but we resist the responsibility that comes with it. And I embrace it. I embrace. So those I see that resist it, those that I see that don't want to be unified, that don't have the mindset to be unified, I'm not against you. I'm not against you. And that don't matter what color you are, what sex you are, none of that matters. None of that matters, because if you have these same morals and values, or you have these same pillars, or you trying to implement these pillars in your life, we can work together. We can work together. But this is what I want to do. I want to challenge my audience. I want to challenge everybody that's watching to, number one, pick a pillar, one of these 10 pillars, and apply it this week. Number two, support Black-owned businesses. And let me say this, don't support business because they are Blacks. Do your research and find out people who are doing work in the community, who are actually investing in the community, who take pride in serving their community, meaning their customer service is up to par. That's one of the areas we lose at when it comes to Black-owned businesses. Our customer service sucks. And I don't care who you are, what it is, what you got going on. But like I said, any business that you see supporting the hood, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give you an example. The Packing House. Anybody that know South Dallas and know the Packing House. The packing house is run by white guys. Those guys have been in the community for as long as I was in the community, in the hood. But the one thing about those guys, they always support, black events. They donate, meat and stuff to black events. They feed the homeless. They feed all the homeless, all the crackheads, the winos in the community. They feed the homeless. They feed, people that's struggling and going through stuff. And they have gave out so much credit to people in the community when they didn't have it. So that's what I mean when I say support businesses that support your community. It ain't about the race no more. It ain't about, do they support the community that they do business in? Do they treat the people right and support the people who they serve? Next, teach somebody a skill. If you have a skill, teach them. I'm always trying to teach these youngsters how to work on houses, and anything else I could teach them. But another thing, have a real conversation. Stop and have a real conversation with somebody, man, and stop gossiping. Do that. Do one of those two things. Do one of those four things. Pick one of those pillars. Support a neighborhood community business. Teach someone a skill. And have a real conversation and stop gossiping. We could get so much accomplished if we would just sit down and talk to each other and be honest with each other. But hey, I'm not gonna hold y'all up too long. I want to say this: if you like the episode, feel free to follow the page, whether you're watching from YouTube or whether you're watching from Facebook. Follow the page, share the stream, and reach out. Join the mission. United for Prosperity. Join the mission. Check out my page, IamTobyO'Neal.com, and check out the United for Prosperity mission and see what we got going on, because we pushing unity in the community. But unity is not something we talk about. It's something we build. And if we don't build it, we'll keep living without it. It's on us. It's on us, man. It's on us, to build unity in our community. And like I said, it's not based on race. It's not based on where you're from. It's not based on what you look like. It's not based on color. It's not based on sex. It's not based on none of that. But it's based on these 10 pillars that I just went over. And if you feel the same way, I want to hear from you. Reach out, let me know, and we're going to keep it rocking. But before I get out of here, I want to thank Miss Sheila McCrae for watching. I want to thank Mr. Fuller, my little bro, Charles Fuller, and I want to thank Uncle Scotty, man. I see you, Unc. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. But like I said, man, I'm Mr. O'Neal. This is the P-Ave Perspective. I thank y'all for tuning in. God willing, we're going to do this again next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. Invite somebody to tune in. But until then, y'all take care and have a great rest of y'all week and a great weekend. Peace.